So this video is inspired by this recent tweet that I saw, which basically states that more creative people tend to have worse organization systems. And intuitively, that does make quite a bit of sense, right? Because they're spending more time on the system than doing the actual work. It's like sharpening your sword but never going to battle. The productivity tools make you think like you're being productive, but you're actually getting nothing done. You're making no useful contribution to humanity. Real progress happens in the messy notes, the rough drafts, the half-baked ideas. And as I kept thinking about the actual creative process, like what it took to make something great, the more that I realized one key thing. Notion is making you unproductive. Back in high school, the one thing that I noticed is that lots of people used to highlight the notes. And I wondered why they would choose to do that instead of actually learning the content. Or you could say, why people choose to spend time on Notion systems than actually doing the work. Which is when I realized the core principle behind both of these things. Building systems feel good, but real work is hard. At the end of the day, it's all procrastination. You don't want to do the actual work. You're not being productive, you're being performative, right? But at the end of the day, the only work worth doing is the hard stuff. If you actually want to turn your ideas into actually something meaningful into the real world, then how should you do it without a system like Notion? Oftentimes you'll get a banger idea, you write it down in Notion, and then you never come back to it, especially with your little monkey brain. Every idea has an expiration date. Inspiration is perishable. And especially since the world is full of infinite distractions, you're fighting so many other decisions to just bring this idea to life. Your mission is to bring it to the world as quick as possible before you get distracted by something else. Writing it down is not going to keep it alive. Ideas are like capturing lightning in a bottle. If you don't use it, it's gone. You have to start treating your goals as like your mission. Like you have to do this before it's too late. But between the idea and actually releasing it, there's another trap, which is perfection. Which leads me to my next point. So when I was writing the script, I didn't use any AI to refine it or make it perfect because these ideas are pretty crucial, right? And there's probably other people like me who could benefit with this advice. And by just wasting like even hours, less people would probably see this. I felt like it was my duty to release this as quick as possible. Just getting the core ideas out there. You don't need a mask of perfection just to hide your insecurities, you know. Real progress is just from actually doing the work and then slowly getting better at it. You'll find ways to optimize it as you're doing it, not before you start because you don't know what to optimize, right? It's like that old analogy, bringing a tank to a sword fight. And that's what like Notion templates are essentially doing. You're trying to create a perfect system for your life. But real life is pretty complex. Like your system won't hold. Like there's a rule in complexity theory. The more complex the system is, the more likely it will break. And that leads me to my last and most important point. You don't need a perfect system. You need an idea and momentum. Tools are just that, just simple tools to help you get the work done. When Michelangelo was sculpting the statue of David, he didn't try and make his chisel pretty. He didn't spend his whole life trying to master it. He just used it as his tool. He just used it for what it was, a tool to help get the job done. Then he probably threw it away. And that's the same with Notion. At the end of the day, they're a business trying to make money. But to you, it's just a tool. If it works, fine. If not, find something else. As long as it helps you get the job done. That's all that matters. But then again, your needs might differ. I'm just a guy trying to share my own personal experiences. Just get the work done. Peace.